Welcome back. Well, let's continue the conversation on this massive spike in crime, and let's call it what it is, straight up lawlessness that's happening around this country. And folks, it is all thanks to lenient prosecutors and DAs, along with these politicians who are more worried about getting a vote by virtue signaling certain people than actually keeping their constituents safe. That's at least what I think anyway. Now, Mayor Keith Pekau is fighting back against all of this woke ideology that's allowing criminals to run free in the major city that's right next to the city that he runs. The mayor runs a Chicago suburb called Orland Park. Have you heard of it? A community that is feeling the impact of liberal judges and liberal prosecutors in the Windy City who are just letting criminals run free. We've shown you the stories. How many times? Time and time again. I want to welcome the mayor to the program and discuss what's happening. Mayor, welcome for the first time. I appreciate you coming on. I grew up in Ohio, Indiana. Used to spend time going over to Chicago a lot. And, 20-some years ago, what a great city. Today, I don't feel that comfortable going to Chicago. I don't even go to Los Angeles, any of these major cities where these liberal judges and DAs have taken over. I just don't like visiting.
Thank you for having me. I don't blame you. I don't go into have loved the city of Chicago my entire life, and there's really little reason for us to go down there anymore unless we're catching a sporting event or a Broadway show. I see no reason to go down there whatsoever, and I know many people that feel the same way. It's just, frankly, it's not safe. That's
sad too. Such a beautiful city. You're right there on the lake, got a gorgeous skyline. There's so much amazing dining and shopping. It's a cool city. How are you fighting back? Because I know, I'm looking at the map here. I remember refresh my memory on where Orland Park was. You're not that crazy far away. You're just to the southwest, not that far out of town. But obviously the crime has been spilling over into the suburbs. I mean, a lot of the major crime that people report on mainstream media is a lot of the black-on-black gang crime. We saw 793 murders last year, I think was the final number, almost 800. But this got to be spilling over into towns like yours in Orland Park, right?
It's spilling over into all the suburbs, and we're 10 miles southwest from the corner of Chicago and 25 miles from the center of the city. We've actually done a very good job. Our index crimes are at a 27-year low, but it's because of the efforts of our department, and I think we're having a different experience than others in that regard, but we're not having a different experience in that we are dealing with a lot more potential crime. We're removing a gun off the street every 5 days. Over the last year. We just had this briefing last night at our village board meeting, and that's something we've never seen before. But we're very proactive.
From criminals, Mayor, I would assume, right? From criminals, illegally owned guns.
Yeah, these are illegal guns that we're getting off the street, right. And the majority of the people that we are arresting have like 80 to 90% have a prior criminal background. Of course. I believe the stat last night was 24% of them are out on recognizance bonds.
That's what I was going to ask. How many just got out from some weak, limp-kneed, radical, liberal prosecutor who won't prosecute, or a judge who gave them no bail or whatever?
And here's the really scary part: 41% of the people we've arrested, 41% of the 70 adults that we've arrested for this have been let go on recognizance bonds. These are people that had illegal weapons, felony weapons charges, and they were let go on recognizance bonds. And even a Class X felony, which is the worst felony that you can have with a gun, it's a minimum 6-year sentence. The average bond amount for that, $4,000.
And the guy's out.
Out.
So wait a minute, a sex crime. So like somebody raped somebody by using a gun, and some judge let the guy out on his own recognizance, no bail?
Well, these are just gun crimes. These are just, we found people with, machine guns, illegal weapons, right. Felons that had a gun that, so a felon with a gun is a felony. You're not allowed to have a gun. Right. To have guns with filed off serial numbers, to have guns that aren't registered, that, all of those things. We're not talking about, a petty, a person making a mistake who, just didn't bring their firearms card with them that day. We're talking about people that had illegal guns. Yeah. And 41% of them are letting out on their own recognizance, and people who are felons with felony guns, Class X felonies, minimum 6-year sentence, walking out $4,000 bond, so $400, and they're back out on the street. That's just absolutely unacceptable.
That's insane. Yeah, a drug dealer with all of his guns can pull $400 and a wad of cash out, no problem. He just made it on the street corner and pay that judge. And these are, when your local police in your city are busting these career criminals, were the crimes they previously committed, when you pull their rap sheets, is it coming from Chicago? And were they let go by Chicago prosecutors and judges?
Absolutely. Kim Fox, the Cook County State's Attorney, is operating a revolving door and just letting people out on the street. And what we do is many times we go to the federal government for charges. So here's a really good example. We recently I had an email sent to me about the good work our police department did getting all of the evidence to get them to get someone with three criminal gun charges. They pled guilty to 2 of them. They will face a minimum 6 years in jail. Okay, that was from the feds. The reason we went to the feds is because Cook County refused to charge it even.
Wow.
So the federal government got a 6-year minimum plea deal. Didn't even go to trial. That's how much evidence we had. Cook County wouldn't charge it.
Mayor,
that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, what? I don't, I said this with another guest, and I say it a lot. I don't understand if it's arrogance, being out of touch, incompetence, or a direct motive behind it, or all 3 or 4 things with these liberals, but I don't understand why they would want to do this. You let criminals and bad guys back out. They commit crimes on constituents who vote for you to keep you in office. You obviously are a power-hungry piece of trash. So why would you want to harm your constituents who are going to hopefully vote for you to put you back in office? That's why it doesn't make any sense to me on why they let these scumbags out. I don't get it.
They appear to be true believers in letting these people go, and they believe that everyone that's in jail, it seems to be that everyone that's in jail doesn't belong there. And at the end of the day, we need to keep violent criminals off the street. And you're even seeing, I'm sure you've seen Mayor Lightfoot come out against this when she's been in full support of this. We heard our Cook County Sheriff, who's been in full support of this, now come out against it.
Yeah, because she's worried about the backlash. That's why.
Well, they're finally seeing the results of all of this, right? And I mean, who could have guessed? You allow criminals to keep roaming the streets and you're going to have more crime. Geez, that's a shocker to most people.
Right. Did they think, you know what, if we give them a second, actually for most of them, if we give them a 4th or an 8th chance, they're going to reform. They're going to see that we're a nice mayor, we're a nice DA, and we're giving them their 8th shot. They're going to reform and stop being a criminal. They can't be that stupid. Mayor, we're out of time, but I wanted you on primarily to send that message to other city leaders who are dealing with this, that are most likely surrounding large cities like the suburbs of Seattle, Chicago, New York, Boston, Baltimore, LA, you name it. They're dealing with the same thing you're dealing with. So from what I'm hearing from you, and I saw the LA County Sheriff do it on the investigation of that downed officer by the 3 gang members, they didn't think that the LA DA would do anything, so they went to the feds as well. So your advice would be, don't go to those local liberal DAs and hoping for prosecution or those judges. Take it to the feds, and hopefully you'll get these scumbags put back behind bars.
That would be one thing that I recommend. The other thing is we spend extra money on investigations so that we have ironclad proof, and so that even the county can't turn it down.
Okay.
And the very last thing is our community is so supportive of our police. We're 90% plus support of our police department, and that carries huge weight in the efforts that we make to keep our town safe.
Yeah, nobody in Orland Park screaming defund the police, I bet.
Absolutely not.
The mayor of Orland Park, just outside of Chicago, Keith Pekau, thank you so much for coming on the program and filling folks in on what you're doing there to keep your residents safe. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.